Very good morning to one and all. Today we are going to see the last section of chapter 3, A Horse and Two Gods. We were discussing the summary of this chapter. We reached till page number 64. Today we will start from the second last paragraph of page number 64. The context is our Englishman is asking how much you want for this horse. But Munni did not understand that question and he was talking about that horse, its history, and how this horse and warrior is going to save the good man. Munni asked the Englishman, how many children do you have? How many boys and how many girls? Were they married? Is it difficult to find a son-in-law in your country? In answer to these questions, the red man dashed his hands into his pocket and brought forth his wallet in order to take immediate advantage of the bearish trend in the market. He took out 100 rupees note and said, "Well, this is what I mean." Now, our Munni, the old man, realized that some financial element was entered their talk. He looked carefully into that currency note. It is a currency which he had never seen in his life. He knew the 5 and 10 by their colors, although always in others' hand. Our Munni's earning never met up to this much range. It is 100 rupees note. It was the first time in Munni's life that he saw 100 rupees note. Munni thought, why this man is showing this much rupees? He thought this person is asking change for this 100 rupees. He laughed to himself at the notion of anyone coming to him for changing 1,000 or 10,000 rupees note. He said to that American, ask our village headman, who is also a moneylender. He can change even 1,00,000 of rupees in gold sovereigns, if you prefer it that way. He thinks nobody knows, but his puja room is so big, and your head will reel at the sight of the whole. The man disguises himself in rags just to mislead the public. Like this, Munni continued to speak about his horse, that big house man, the money lender, how he lent money, and what is his behavior. Meanwhile, his eyes went to his gods. The foreigner followed his look and decided that it would be a sound policy to show an interest in the old man's pets. The American went up casually to that gods and stroked their backs with a very polite way. Now the truth dawned on the old man. His dream of a lifetime was about to be realized. He understood that the red man was actually making an offer for his gods. Here, Munni is misunderstanding that the Englishman showed money in order to buy Munni's gods. He had reared them up in the hope of selling them someday, and with the capital, opening a small shop on this very spot. Sitting there, watching towards the hills, he had often dreamed how he will put a roof here, spread a gunny sack out of the ground, and display on it fried nuts, colored sweets, and green coconut for the thirsty and famished passengers of that highway, which was sometimes very busy. That two animals were not prized ones for a cattle show, but Munni had spent his occasional savings to provide them some fancy diet, and now they did not look too bad. Meanwhile, the red man had shook Munni's hand and left on his palms 100 rupees in tens now, suddenly realizing that this was what the old man was asking. It is all for you, or you may share it if you have partners, the red man said. The old man pointed at the station wagon and asked, are you carrying them off in that? Yes, of course, said the other, understanding the transportation part of it. Munni, the old man said, this will be their first ride in a motor car. Carry them off after I get out of sight. Otherwise, they will never follow you, but only me, even if I am traveling on the path of Yamalok. Munni laughed at his own joke, brought his palms together in a salute, turned around and went off. and was soon out of sight beyond a area of trees and bushes growing closely together. The red man looked at the goats grazing peacefully, and he thought, our Munni fetched very fast in order to take some help. And he said, he must be gone to fetch some help, I suppose, and settled down to wait. When a truck came downhill, he stopped it and got the help of a couple of men to detach the horse from its pedestal and place it in his station wagon. He gave them 5 rupees each, and for a further payment, they gave them some gas from the truck and helped him to start his engine. Munni hurried homeward with the cash securely tucked away at his waist in his dhoti. He shut the street door and stole up softly to his wife as she squatted before the lit oven, wondering if by a miracle food would drop from the sky, which means she did not get any chance to get the food for Munni today. She was waiting, or she was pretending like the food will fall from the sky above into that oven. Munni said about his good fortune of that day. She snatched that notes from him, counted them by the glow of the fire, and cried, 100 rupees? How did you come by it? Have you been stealing? She doubted at our Munni. I have sold our goats to a red-faced man. He was absolutely crazy to have them, gave me all this money, and carried them off in his motor car. When Munni was talking about this, they heard a cry outside of their house door. She opened the door and saw the 2 goats at her door. Here they are, she said. What the meaning of all this? She exclaimed. He muttered a great curse and seized one of the goats by its ears and shouted, where is that man? Don't you know you are his? Why did you come back? The goats only wriggled in his grip. He asked the same question to the other 2. The goats shook itself off. Munni's wife looked at him in an angry way and declared, if you have thieves, the police will come tonight and break your bones. Don't involve me. I will go away to my parents. This is the end of this story. So dear students, try to find out all the answers for workbook exercises.